Hello and welcome to the August 2024 monthly video update for the HI UK Select Fund. I'm Paul Marriage from Premier Miton. This was a month which could have been extremely challenging given the tricky start with the Tokyo Index collapsing 12% on the first trading day of the month. Indices don't often collapse that much, so getting through this in the way that we did with actually a very smooth return and hardly any impact was really satisfying and kind of shows why we have a balanced approach to this fund and the kind of low volatility it can return. So what drove that good performance? On the long book, we had a standout performance really from LSE, the London Stock Exchange Group, clearly a company that's been around for a long time in London. But these days it's a big global international exchange group, relatively lowly valued against peers probably, and also had results which confirmed a slightly better outlook. So people are beginning to look into 2025 for the LSE group and suggesting that perhaps that has given it a better outlook and the shares have performed on the back of that. Other long book winners were Beazley, the global insurer and reinsurer. Rates in that sector remain good, and again the outlook's good here. So in a lowering rate environment, if they can still get pretty good returns in the insurance market, that's probably bodes reasonably well, and investors have been following that. Bellway was also good. Bellway decided not to buy UK peer Crest Nicholson. Perhaps investors were concerned about what came with Crest Nicholson. Can't be sure about that, but they obviously like the fact that Bellway have decided they can grow without that acquisition, and the shares had a good run. Bellway had pretty direct play on any UK recovery and UK government incentives to try and make the housing market grow a bit faster and the new build housing market grow a bit faster, which is relatively well placed given the new UK government's narrative. And on the short book, we had a couple of winners on the short book. It was good to see Ocado was working well for us again there. I think people are nervous about the technology, the ability to roll out the valuation. We've mentioned this before, and it seems to be a continuation of the same theme. We had a positive contribution from Belgian chem specialty chemicals company Syssenko. We think the outlook for chems in general quite tough in the second half, like a lot of industrials. The second half weighting is significant and pretty hard work. The share has been quite strong. The results were a bit subdued. So it was good to see that come through for us on the short book and a good little contribution there. So a couple of good short book winners. And overall, again, that balance of the portfolio with some longs and shorts working. Things that didn't go for us in the month, on the long book, the standout was actually Wood Group. Wood Group's a UK energy services business that was subject to a bid from Lebanese energy peer, services peer Sidara. Sidara chose not to proceed with the bid on the day of the Tokyo Stock Exchange market fall. I think that was probably a reaction to market turmoil rather than anything they found in Wood Group. Wood Group have had plenty of time as a public company to say that there's something wrong. There clearly isn't. So big share price move downwards, bit of a pain for us on the day. So negative on the day, but we managed to get through that okay. On the short book, we struggled a bit with a couple of staples. Bunzl and Haleon, they both had pretty good numbers, solid numbers, new share buybacks, share prices reacted well. So they were negative for us in terms of rising shorts. But overall, this was a good month for the fund with a good balance of contributions on both long and short fund sides of the book. So thinking going forward, this feels like a stock picker's market. There's plenty of macro uncertainty. We've got a lot of noise around. Clearly, we've got the US election coming up in Q4. And I've talked about that second half waiting for a lot of companies. So these are all good things for stock pickers in terms of uncertainty, things that may trigger share price movements. And we feel that that's a pretty good environment for stock picking. It's something we've said earlier again this year, and it's panning out so far reasonably well. So we'll continue to work hard looking for stocks, meeting companies and analysts, and keeping that portfolio balance as we continue to seek to provide positive returns throughout the rest of 2024. Thank you again for your support, and I look forward to updating you again in a month's time.